up guys, Jordan here, and I'm back with another MDL Pro Tip video. This time we're going to talk about one of the biggest aspects in CSGO aside from fragging, which is how to support your teammates. So what I want to talk about in this video are a couple key things. We're going to talk about recognizing when a player should be supported, communicating with said player, and then actually knowing ways to support. So starting off with the first kind of umbrella, which is recognizing when a player should be supported. You're going to look at a couple things. And this, guys, keep in mind, this requires a bit of game sense. If you're absolute beginner to the game, you know, some of these things will come with time. Some of the ways to throw nades and things will come with time. You got to put in that as a separate topic in that studying time. So supporting your teammates, and when should they support them? One, the teammate's just simply ahead of you, right? They're in a better position to be supported. They have the better opportunity at the frag. They're nearer to the enemy or whatever that case might be, right? I'll get into it. They have more HP, right? They should be supported. They have a better chance of getting the kill that you're supporting them for. They have no nades, right? If you don't want to be the entry fragger with a full set of nades, someone's supporting you and they have maybe one flash or whatever, right? You would rather bait that guy in so that you have more utility when you succeed at the support play. And then, is their position vulnerable to pop flashes or mollies? That's the last thing where it's like, that requires game sense. So I'm going to give you some examples right here really quick. So I put bot Nate over here, who's in a position to be mollied. He is ahead of me, though, so he's the first guy who should be supported. He might have no nades. In this case, he doesn't. And obviously, like I said, they're vulnerable to pop flashes or mollies. So there's different ways I could support him. So then that requires me to, one, communicate to him if he wants to throw the nade or not. So I'm going to say it. If he has time, right? If he has control of this area and they're not putting pressure, he has time to communicate. If he doesn't, that's when you need to know you need a support flash or take initiative and saying, hey, Nate, I'm flashing behind you, right? If he says there's a guy at the sandbag, that's going to work, right? Because you're going to say, hey, Nate, flashing behind you. And then this guy hopefully has the game sense, right? Not everyone's going to realize that he can go with the flash and turn and get this kill. If he says the opper's at corner, you got to realize that flash doesn't hit the guy at the corner and say, hey, I could flash corner, flash in corner. But the, hey, I could flash corner, see how I did that? Hey, I could flash corner. If he doesn't say anything, I'll just flash corner. If he says, no, wait, maybe he has something he wants to do and he wants to throw a flash first to push the guy back because he thinks the opper's going to stay here and then flash, right? Communicating what you're going to do allows them to veto what you're saying or to go with what you're saying with more efficiency. So maybe he doesn't say anything. So you say, hey, flashing upper. And then Nate over here, he hasn't been taking a lot of initiative right now. But Nate would say, okay, boom, the flash goes, and now he can chase down the opper because that's a good flash for the corner. So the last kind of umbrella to this is obviously knowing ways to support, guys. So you have to know good flashes. You got to understand how to smoke out mollies or why you would want to smoke out mollies. And then the last thing I'm going to go into is trade frag, right, when that's necessary. It's always necessary, but it's not always an option, right? So obviously right here, he could also be mollied. So what am I also ready to do? I'm kind of playing this angle, right? That's the other thing. You don't want to be in angles where he can't trade immediately. So like if you run into this angle, the opper could maybe op you. And then as Nate swings, this guy could jump away and might only take a little damage from Nate, right? So if Nate's sitting in the corner right there, I don't want to walk too far past his angle, so he could stay tradable, right? If there's no op, then you're not as worried because he could peek in, right? And you're not going to get insta-fragged. He has time to trade, basically. So if he does get mollied, though, and you recognize maybe he doesn't have the smoke, I don't know if you use this command, CL, show team equipment, right? It's not always allowed in every situation, but for you guys, most of the time it will be. If he doesn't have a smoke, you might want to be ready to smoke the molly out and then throw a flash high above him and see how he backstep. It's a good way to finesse the flashes. That's a key thing right there. Now you're allowing him to get away and you're pushing these guys off of him and he could backpedal. So knowing set nades and then having game sense is big, right? If Nate's up in this corner, let's see, bot place. Maybe if Nate's in that corner, he's really opt to get mollied right here, right? It's very easy for him to get mollied, and if it's not smoked, he's going to get fleshed out. So you being over here supporting him and realizing that if he's in that corner, I'm ready to, boom, put that out. And I obviously actually think in this case, being aware of where you throw the molly, the smoke, try to throw it to like right here. So it actually creates more of an escape path for him, right? That's how you support properly. If you just throw smoke right under him, he's going to be in a cloud, but this guy can maybe sneak out and still kill him when he's falling. So just little things like that, game sense, guys. You really want to know how to support your teammates. And then, like I said, whenever they're in a forward position, guys, just fall into this habit of thinking right away, first, if you could support with a flash, and the trading is something I'm going to end this video with. But first, if you could support it with a flash, and then, like I said, go down that checklist mentally. Do they have more HP? If this guy's got 5 HP right here, yeah, maybe you want to like just jiggle this angle to see if there's opper, and he could trade an opper with 5 HP, right? But once you clear this angle, and they're not here, and your teammate who maybe walked out boiler first is right here, swap spaces with him, guys. It's okay. Even if he's the entry fragger on your team or this is a pug, it doesn't matter. Swap places, have the low HP guy come back and flash for you to get up arch and get the kills because it's a higher chance of you getting the frag versus a rifler. Now, if there's an opper, there's a gray area here where maybe you do want the low HP guy to die to the opper first, and that's up to you guys. But I'm just giving you the general idea, which is you want to think about the highest percentage of entry fragging, right? If you're entering porch side, for sure the rifler generally is not, or is pit, right? It's not an opper. So you want to send the higher HP guy here. So if there's a guy right here, and maybe your halls guy just killed a guy pit, sight, right? He gets this kill. You don't want to just start charging up right away for no reason. If you know they're under balk pit, hey, I'm flashing pit for you. Wait, flashing pit. Get a good flash. And then, like, now, because you're baiting this guy anyways, right? He's the one guy, you're the two guy. Either way, he's going to go up. And if there happens to be another guy sight, you're going to trade. But if you know there's a guy pit, and that's the guy he wants to kill, support your teammate, guys. Everyone I know already, I could see in the comments, good luck with this in pugs. Good luck with this in matchmaking. Well, encourage it. You never know. Maybe you'll just educate one of your teammates, or maybe you'll inspire them to have a little good faith to provide this. I think a lot of people don't do this in pugs because they don't think anyone's going to do it. Half the time when I pug, well, maybe it's because people know who I am, I start encouraging more comms, and it just brings out that in people. So recognize when a teammate's ahead of you. Boom, flashing pit. Come with you. Boom. Brings me to my last point, come with you, right? There's two times you want to trade frag, or there's two types of trade fragging, rather. One, when you simply are just behind someone, you can't help it, right? Boom, he's running up, make sure you go. If you don't go, you're a jackass, you're sitting in the back and baiting your team, right? If you have an op, maybe it's good because you're posting on this and you know he's Pope, and this guy's going to, like, scale on him like this or something. Whatever. Unique situation. When do you want to not throw nades, though, right? Supporting your teammate is easy, right? Supporting your team with nades is easy, right? Because once you know the nades and he's like right here, you say go and B, I have a good flash for you. Boom, I throw a flash. That's going to bind coffin, right? So I could have spent a lot more time, by the way, guys, going over good flash in this video. Knowing flashes is something I briefly breezed over in this video. Understanding where people are getting blind from your flashes. Knowing the flashes like this one right here. You stand in the wood, aim at this teal part. I know that flash is going to land behind first orange, so my teammate running in like this can run with it and not get blind, and it's going to blind coffin. That's a whole other video in itself, guys. Know your flashes and your nades. But my last point with trade fragging, know when it's good to just simply, I call it holding onto your teammate's belt, because sometimes, guys, the best way to support a teammate is to be ready to trade frag. My teammate's right here. He's ready to swing arch. I don't need to just bait him and stand right here because I have one flash. If we know where the guy is 100% and he's right here, there's a good chance it might be hard to flash him. Come hold onto your teammate's belt, right? Like a little kid holding onto their parent. He's going to swing wide, and you're going to swing right next to him. That's the basics of trade fragging and supporting in CSGO, is knowing spacing. Every time you run up an angle, guys, be aware of where the guy is and how to not line up with your teammate and how to fit in that space where he's going to make available for you. So you're running up wrap. You know the rifler could be here at any one of these angles, right? See all these lines? You want to be aware of what line your teammate is on, and you want to be just inside of it at every second. If your teammate's right here, you want to be just inside his line, running, clearing. Because if you're too far from his line and he's running here, and you're running here, this guy will be able to, boom, get this kill, step out, and now you're going to be stepping back into his line. You're not really gaining a big advantage from that spacing. So it's a very sensitive subject. Sometimes it's more easy than others, right? The bigger the corridor, you have to just make sure you're being aware of these things. So if your teammate's running this line, you don't want to clear arch from back here, or you can clear arch from back here, but you got to realize the second you cross this kind of pathway, you want to get closer to his line, because generally speaking, this arch guy doesn't play off angles here, he plays them here, because that's the next corridor that you would have to worry about. So right when you cross this line, get closer to your teammate's line. If he's running this line, get closer to him right here and bait right here. So if he gets shot, you're boom, stepping out. Right when he rounds this corner and he hits this spot, boom, you're here. Right when he's peeking cold zero boost, you're right here on this line. So if he's wide right there, you get closer to him. If he is tight right here, you stay along this wall, and then right when he dies, you're here. Supporting in CSGO's final boss is trade fragging, guys, and it's a very sensitive subject of spacing and understanding angles, right? A CT's angles are always called slicing the pie. They're slicing every piece of the pie. Realize what piece of the pie you're on. If he's looking at this piece of pie and you're not eating it, You're in one of these three, your teammate goes to the wide piece, stay to the next piece right next to him, guys, all right? Trade fragging and using nades, guys, there's so much I could have packed into this video. I could go on for 30 minutes about knowing things. I'm going to recap. Recognize when a player should be supported via nades, with flashes, smoked for mollies, etc. Communicate. Say when you're going to throw a nade, but be ready to be vetoed by him if he doesn't like it. Ask him if there is time, what he wants to do. Say, I could flash this for you. You want to do it. Last thing, know ways to support. Good flashes, good smokes. Trading kills. Guys, trading fragging is the biggest thing probably there. That's the most simple. When you trade frag, when you know where the guy is, you don't want to give up your position with throwing nades. Some people might have left this video early, but this is the final point. It's a big one. You don't want to just waste flashes. If it's a 3 versus 3 and you're walking A late round and you know there's only one guy pit, one guy moto, this is moto, just walk up on him, get the kill. Trade frag, best way to support your teammates right there. Communicate, hey, let's walk in dry. Dry means no utility. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and this better helped you to support your teammates in CSGO. Good luck out there, ladies and gentlemen.